Sarah, I'm Mark's fiancé. You're living abroad, right? So you probably can't come to the wedding?
Oh, Victoria! I wasn't expecting to hear from my brother's fiancé. Nice to meet you. I'm Sarah.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm contacting you. I've been wanting to reach out for weeks now.
That's thoughtful of you. How did you get my contact information?
Mark told me that he told you about the engagement. He said you wouldn't come back for introductions, so I decided to reach out myself. It's pretty rude not to even show your face to your future sister-in-law. If it was anyone else, they'd probably be furious right now. You're lucky I'm so generous and nice.
I'm really sorry about that. I wanted to come meet you too, but our schedules just wouldn't line up. Things have been quite hectic, and I couldn't return home. I should be able to properly greet you before the wedding, though. I'm really sorry about this.
You know, Mark talks about you all the time. Always Sarah this and Sarah that, but you can't even make time for a simple introduction?
I understand your frustration. My work schedule can be quite demanding, but I do care about my brother's happiness.
Well, obviously. Are you looking down on your sister-in-law? With that attitude, you might as well never come back. I could just cut ties with you right now.
That's a bit harsh. I'm planning to move back permanently once things settle down, so we'll have plenty of time to spend together then. I'm sorry for now. I'd really appreciate it if you could wait a bit longer.
Move back? Really? What could be so important abroad that you can't even visit your own family?
I have commitments I need to honor, but I promise I'll be back soon.
You're lucky I'm such a nice person. Well, I guess this means you're planning to attend the wedding.
Of course, I'll definitely make arrangements and come back for that, so please don't worry about the big day. I wouldn't miss my brother's wedding day for the world.
The wedding's really important to Mark, you know. He keeps saying how much he wants his little sister there.
I know. I wouldn't miss it for anything. Mark's happiness means a lot to me.
I'm not worried or anything. If you don't come, it's no problem for us. Though if you're that ignorant of basic manners, we'll obviously cut ties with you afterward. Not that I'm trying to threaten you or anything. It's just common sense, right?
Of course, it's my brother's wedding, so I want to attend. I look forward to seeing you there.
Mark said you dropped out of school early. Must be nice just living off your parents abroad.
I see Mark's told you quite a bit about me, though there seems to be some misunderstanding.
Whatever, you never contacted me, so I had to reach out because I couldn't take it anymore. You should be grateful. I'm not exactly free either, you know.
Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you for reaching out. Looking forward to our future relationship.
Just make sure you actually show up. I've planned everything perfectly, and I won't let anyone ruin it.
Don't worry, I'll be there. I should probably get back to work now.
Work? Is that what you call it? Whatever. Just don't embarrass us at the wedding.
I'll do my best to meet your expectations. Have a good day, Victoria. Excuse me? What's going on? There doesn't seem to be a seat for me.
Huh? Obviously. At least we're not kicking you out or anything. You should be grateful. Just stand somewhere in the back.
What do you mean? I told you I would be attending, right? What do you mean by obviously there's no seat?
Did you really expect a proper seat? You barely even keep in touch with your family.
I RSVP'd properly. I confirmed my attendance multiple times.
Well, you're a dropout, aren't you? Your dad might be a hospital director who spoiled you, and you might be playing around abroad, but still.
That's not true at all.
Don't act all high and mighty now. You should be thankful I even let you come.
Let me? This is my brother's wedding.
There's no seat for a dropout like you, so just stand in the corner. You should be grateful that someone from the bottom of society is even allowed at a doctor couple's wedding.
Doctor couple? You're not a doctor, right? And what's this about being a dropout from the bottom of society? Is that really what you think of me?
Everyone knows you ran away from your responsibilities while your brother worked hard to become a doctor.
You seem to have a lot of assumptions about my life.
I'm just stating facts. Let me tell you, I have zero intention of associating with a dropout loser sister. If you have a problem with it, we can cut ties after this ceremony is over.
You might want to be careful about what you're saying.
Or what? Going to run away again? This is my wedding, and I decide who sits where.
You're the one who's finished. The wedding is off.
Who do you think you are? Don't get cocky with me.
I'm Sarah and Mark's father. Do you understand what you're saying to my precious daughter? Cutting ties. That's exactly what we'll be doing with you.
Huh? Wait, are you really my father-in-law?
Yes, I'm extremely disappointed in you. Though to be honest, I'd been feeling something was off, so seeing your true nature like this actually makes things clearer. I'll be having a serious talk with Mark about this, and while it's ultimately his decision, he'll likely agree with me. Don't associate with us anymore, that's all!
Wait, no, please wait. This is all wrong. This was just a little joke.
A joke? Yeah, right. Oh, Dad's already left. He's really angry, so I doubt there will be any wedding now. I mean, while Dad can't technically stop Mark from getting married, my brother shares similar values with him. So once he hears Dad's opinion, he'll probably be shocked and act like this wedding never happened.
You're ruining everything. This was supposed to be perfect.
You did this to yourself. Did you really think you could treat people this way?
Wait, Sarah, I get it now. I went too far. I didn't mean to mock you for being a dropout. I was just stating facts.
Facts? What facts exactly? Everything you've said has been pure assumption.
But Mark told me you left school early.
Stating facts. Listen, the conclusion is that everything you've been saying is just your imagination and completely different from reality. But I'm glad I got to see your true colors. You've done a good job hiding your real personality from my brother until now. He'll definitely be disgusted when he finds out what you're really like. You can forget about a life with my brother.
Wait a minute, you're just wandering around abroad spending your parents' money. Why am I getting yelled at? Your parents spoil you too much. Someone needs to show you reality.
The reality is that you've just destroyed your own wedding with your assumptions and attitude.
What did you say? Your brother's a doctor. He's not stupid. If I explain things properly, he'll understand that you're the one who's wrong. Having a money-draining relative like you is the real mistake. I've built a decent relationship with Mark, you know?
Is that so? Well, keep believing that if you want. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Don't you dare walk away! I won't let you ruin this!
You've already done that yourself. Goodbye, Victoria.
I've already left, but what are you planning to do now, Sarah? Want to come home for dinner? I can order pizza, or we can make something together.
Yeah, I'd like that. Wait, you've already gone? That was quick. I mean, I knew you were leaving, but didn't expect you to leave this fast.
I'm not one to waste time. Plus, I'm honestly exhausted. Once it was clear the wedding was off, there was no point in staying.
That's true. Did you at least talk to Mark before leaving?
He was already handling things when I left. How about you?
Yeah, I was just talking to Mark when that woman barged in. Though I didn't even want to talk to her, so I just walked away.
How did it go with Mark? He must be pretty shaken up, right?
Yeah, well, kind of. But surprisingly, he handled it really well. He just said he couldn't marry someone who would verbally abuse his sister and shut the whole wedding down right away. He's just like you. Once he's decided on something, there's no stopping him.
That's my son, always direct when it matters.
Yeah, he was surprisingly calm about it, actually. Though I could tell he was furious.
Well, that makes sense. I still can't believe she had the nerve to call you a dropout and unemployed. Talk about being completely wrong. And to think she assumed I was the kind of father who would let my kids just waste their lives away like that.
She really had no idea who she was talking to, did she?
All this time, I thought she was just shy during our family dinners, but I suppose she was hiding all those thoughts behind that facade of hers.
Right? She really doesn't know when to shut up. Imagine throwing insults around based on completely wrong assumptions. I guess that's just how she's always been. Can't believe Mark actually fell for someone like her.
Didn't they meet when she helped him find his lost wallet or something? Maybe he got caught up in the whole fate thing.
You remember how he was always a romantic at heart?
Just like your mother was.
Oh, that's so Mark. But you should have seen how angry he was when he confronted her. There's definitely no chance of that marriage happening now.
Good. You know, I've been meaning to ask, how are you feeling about coming back permanently?
It's a big change, but I'm ready for it. The hospital needs us both.
That's good to hear. I've been worried about you, you know. After all you've been through, I wouldn't want you to feel uncomfortable because of her. You'll be helping us out more directly now, and I want to make sure the environment is right for you.
The hospital staff already knows about the transition plan, right?
Yes, they're actually quite excited about it.
Thanks for thinking of me. But honestly, even if Mark had somehow decided to marry her, well, let's just say I would have made sure she regretted it. If he chose someone like her, he'd have to face the consequences too.
That's quite harsh. Did you pick that up abroad?
Running a department will do that to you.
You've certainly grown stronger. You must have faced a lot while you were abroad.
Maybe. You have to be pretty tough over there. If you're not ready to stand up for yourself, you'll get crushed pretty quickly.
Sounds like you've had your share of challenges.
It's fine. It was my choice after all. The fellowship wasn't easy, but it was worth it.
You've made me proud, you know.
Plus, it's all worked out in the end. I know I had a lot of freedom, and I'm grateful for that.
I understand. Look, I know there will be challenges ahead, but use my position to your advantage when you need to. I trust you'll handle things well.
The board members might need some convincing.
They've seen your work at the conferences. They know what you're capable of. You'll show them what for.
Don't worry about it. That's exactly what I plan to do.
Sarah, I'm really sorry about earlier. Mark told me everything. I was completely wrong. Please, couldn't you help patch things up between me and your brother? I really do want to marry him. I can't lose him like this.
You've got some nerve messaging me after what happened. I would be too embarrassed to talk after all that.
Please, just hear me out. I made a terrible mistake.
Several mistakes, actually.
Don't be like that. How was I supposed to know you left school at 16 in England just to study medicine in America?
Maybe try not making assumptions about people.
If I had known you were a doctor too.
Yeah, that's right. I left school in the UK early, but I got quite the resume in the States. In fact, I'm considered quite a respected doctor internationally.
You're that accomplished? Why didn't you tell me something so important?
Why would I need to prove myself to you?
But if you had just told me…
Of course I didn't. Actually, successful people don't go around bragging about themselves. Unlike you, who's been throwing around your status as doctor's fiancé since you've got nothing else to brag about.
How do you know about that?
Word gets around in hospital circles.
That's private conversation!
And I overheard you talking to those sketchy friends you invited to the wedding. You were really going at it, weren't you? Saying stuff like, I found his lost wallet because I'm such a good person, and I'll introduce you to hot doctors, and looking down on women who married guys from smaller companies.
Well, I mean, he was my fiancé, so there's nothing wrong with being proud.
Proud of what, exactly? His achievements? Your luck in finding his wallet? You're just riding on his reputation.
You don't understand! Do you know how hard it is to find a good man these days?
Sure, whatever. Unfortunately for you, that engagement's over now. I wonder what you're going to tell all those friends you were bragging to.
Don't say things like that! Think about how I feel! You're already a successful doctor, right? And apparently a famous one! You're already set for life! Why do you need to make me miserable? Mark could become an even better doctor if he marries me! He said he doesn't want to take over your dad's hospital. He wants to build his own from scratch and become the director. Let's support him together.
You still think you have a chance after what happened?
People make mistakes. I can change. Help me.
Hold up. You do realize you've been dumped, right? You're talking like I'm the one opposing your marriage, but Mark's the one who broke it off with you.
But that's why I'm saying we should get along as sisters-in-law. I'll be a supportive wife who helps him achieve his dream.
No way. I don't want anything to do with someone as toxic as you.
Why not? Aren't you being petty? You've been in America all this time, right? It's kind of creepy how you're suddenly playing the protective sister now. You're too close for comfort. Besides, I'll hardly ever see you anyway.
You really don't know when to stop, do you?
Just help me fix this. You owe me that much.
Still with the attitude, huh? By the way, I'm actually moving back to England permanently. And guess what? I'm taking over as director of Dad's hospital.
What? No way! That's got to be a lie! Why would you become director instead of Mark, who's the older brother? He should be taking over!
Because Dad chose me, and like you said yourself, Mark wants to build his own hospital from scratch. He can't take over Dad's hospital if that's his plan, though he will be working as a doctor at my hospital temporarily. And not that this would ever happen, but if by some miracle Mark did marry you, I could just fire him and cut all ties. But we both know that's not happening.
What? You're becoming a hospital director? But why?
You really want to know? Fine.
Please, I need to understand.
Dad overworked himself when he was younger. I've actually been representing him at international conferences in the States lately. Then, two things happened at once. I finally decided to come home, and Dad got sick and wanted to retire. So here we are. Unlike Mark, I'm actually grateful for the opportunity to take over rather than start from scratch. He's got too much pride for that.
So that means...
It means even if you somehow managed to marry Mark, he'd be unemployed for a while. Though, knowing him, that wouldn't be a big setback. But honestly, there's zero benefit for Mark in marrying you. He's a doctor. He could have his pick of beautiful women if he wanted. He might have bought into this whole fate story about you finding his wallet, but I think it's about time he woke up to reality.
You can't do this to me! Everything I worked for!
Worked for? You mean finding his wallet?
Okay, I get it. I was completely wrong. I admit it was all my fault. I've learned my lesson, so please just talk to me properly.
I don't have time to waste on pointless conversations. I'm back in England for the first time in ages, and I want to enjoy myself. Spending time with someone as pathetic as you would be a complete waste. Why don't you use your time to actually work on yourself? Or you could just keep living your sad life, pretending other people's achievements are your own and looking down on everyone else. Have fun in your personal hell.
Please, just one more chance.
Goodbye, Victoria. After that, Mark completely cut ties with Victoria. He blocked her on all social media and went on with his life like nothing had happened. She tried calling him from different numbers for weeks. He just blocked each one. Then she started showing up at the hospital where he worked. That's when things got really messy. Victoria couldn't accept it and tried to stalk him for a while. But Mark blew up at her and threatened to file a harassment report if she didn't stop. She even tried to contact our father to plead her case. Dad just had security escort her out. The funny thing is, her friends, you know, the ones she was always bragging to about marrying a doctor, They all turned on her. Apparently, her friends started making fun of her and distanced themselves from her too. I guess they realized she wasn't their ticket to meeting hot doctors anymore. One of the nurses told me she's been trying to date other doctors at different hospitals. Nobody wants anything to do with her once they hear what happened. Last I heard, she's living a pretty lonely life trying to get herself together. I hope she's at least becoming a somewhat decent person. Mark's doing great though. He's fully focused on his career now, and he's already started planning for his own hospital. Sometimes I think this whole thing was a blessing in disguise. It showed him what kind of person she really was before it was too late. As for me, well, the hospital transition is going smoothly. The staff actually respect me more after hearing how I handled everything at the wedding. Funny how things work out, isn't it?